beautiful people, and welcome to today's Future Spouse Pick a Card reading. In today's Future Spouse Pick a Card reading, I want to find out why your future spouse is devoted to you and only you. So if you want to find out why you are that main BITCH and why no other person is ever going to compare to you, I need you to pick one of these three books. Pile number 1, we have Reclaiming Ourselves by Emma Catherine. Pile number 2, Why Men Lie and Women Cry by Alan and Barbara Pease. And pile number 3, we have A Handbook of Medical Astrology by Jane Ridler Patrick. If you're interested in the book which correlates to the pile that you have chosen, I will be reading out the blurb at the beginning of every pile. As usual, I highly recommend that you go with your first gut instinct. Spirit is going to guide you towards the pile and the book which has the most relevant information for you. And once you have chosen your pile, I shall see you in your reading. Hello beautiful and wonderful pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's find out why your future spouse is devoted to you and only you. So you chose the book Reclaiming Ourselves by Emma Catherine, and this book talks about returning to a time where we were in collaboration with the earth and more in collaboration with our own natural states. It's a little bit like a survival guide. It's super interesting and I really do highly recommend this book. So if you do feel like you'd be interested in this book, I'm going to read a little section from the blurb for you. So, with her clear and welcoming writing, Emma Catherine presents an accessible and insightful map to rediscovering what we have always been capable of, reclaiming our relationship to ourselves, to our bodies, to the land around us, to healing, to food, to community, and to spirituality. Reclaiming Ourselves is an ideal book for everyone seeking strength and connection to not only survive, but thrive, and be a light for others in these dark times. Now, the energy of this book tells me that you and your future spouse may share the fact that you have lost yourselves at some point and found yourselves again. I really do feel with your future spouse, they've got city vibes here. So they may have lost their natural connection to nature, and they may be consciously or subconsciously seeking to reconnect with that. I also want to say that you guys will have a lot of shared hobbies. Maybe you guys like camping, maybe you guys like outdoor sports. You're going to most probably love hiking. I do want to say you've also got a shared goal of moving somewhere a little bit more secluded. I recently went on a solo holiday. I had a ton of work to do, hence why I went solo. But I was 5 minutes away from any form of civilization. So when I'd step outside of this little barn that I was staying in, I couldn't even hear a road, and it was absolutely beautiful. And now to live somewhere like that is one of my biggest goals. So maybe you two either do or will share that goal in the future. I also want to say there may be something going on with you and your expansion. Now this could be within career or just your status within your community or your household. But you are being urged by spirit to be more verbal. Something around you being more verbal and more expressive here. I don't know whether there's something that you need to speak up about. Okay, bear in mind this is going to be different for everybody, so take what fits. This is a collective reading, but there may be something you need to speak up about. Some of you may be feeling very shy around expressing yourself. Maybe you've always felt very shy around expressing yourself authentically, and now is the time, Spirit says, to step up and express yourself and be authentic. I don't know whether you've gained an opportunity potentially to be more out there. I mean, there's a lot of energy here around social media for you, so I don't know whether you do something on social media as a career or whether you want to, or whether there's just an urge and a nudge from spirit to be more active on social media and expressive. I do want to say there's a connection with this to your future spouse. Your future spouse is giving me very Leo energy. With you, I'm getting a bit of Gemini, I'm getting a bit of Capricorn, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your sun, moon or rising. You know, it could be a Gemini 5th house, the creative house. It could be a Capricorn 5th house. Gemini 10th, Capricorn 10th. North Node in Gemini, North Node in Capricorn, North Node in 10th. But I do feel like your expression is going to be something that your future spouse notices. It makes me think that your future spouse is going to enter your life through the internet. This could be through your DMs on Instagram. It could be through a dating website. But I definitely sense a lot of internet here. I sense a little bit of distance between you both. I don't necessarily get city vibes with you, but I get city vibes with your future spouse. So you may live in different countries, you may live in different towns. You could be hours away from each other, you could be 20 minutes away from each other, but they live in a busy area. And I think you live somewhere a little bit more quiet. But again, that doesn't have to resonate for everybody. It could just be the fact that you are living a bit more of a, like, not even a slow life, but like a slower paced life. Maybe things are a little bit more relaxed for you than they are with your future spouse at the moment. Now, your future spouse gives me the energy of having made a lot of past mistakes. Now, I don't know whether this is separate to you or with you. Bear in mind, if this is with you, you will know this person already because this has happened, it's in the past. But it looks like they've been brokenhearted. Whether this broken heart has been from their own actions or somebody else's actions, they've gained a lot of emotional maturity because of this. They're not looking to be in another relationship and mess up again or be messed up again. They know what they're looking for, they know what they want. So when they meet you, they know exactly what they want. I also want to throw out there for you that there's like an air of like fame and sparkle around you. So I don't know whether you are somebody who is very out there or somebody who is looking to be very out there. Someone who's always thought, you know what, like I'm supposed to be well known. But to be well known, I need to express myself. And I don't know if I have the confidence to do so. It's this outward expression of yours which is going to catch this, like, I want to say your future spouse has like magpie syndrome. They love anything that sparkles. So if you're out there expressing yourself, sparkling, being your very like Leo self, I want to say. So I don't know whether you've got some prominent Leo in your chart too. They're going to pick up on that. They're going to love that. They're going to be drawn in. They're going to send you a DM. Could even be an expression on a dating website here. Now your future spouse, because they're very emotionally mature, they're only interested in people that they know they can invest with on the long term. When you meet this person, they're not going to want to fling. They're not going to want a one night stand. I don't think they've got time to mess around with somebody who's not going to be long term, in all honesty. So when you meet this person, don't feel like you're going to get played. They may give very fast-paced player energy because I think they're going to be a little bit distant at first just because of how busy their lifestyle is. Maybe you'll message them in the morning, they message you in the evening, but please don't be alarmed. It's just because they're super, super busy. As I said, they don't have time for games either. So they're going to invest in you more when they realise that you're not a game player. And that's totally understandable. It takes time for people to trust each other. Even if you do feel that instant magnetism and attraction to somebody, it takes time for you to build that trust. I think you're somebody I think you're very expressive, very funny, very witty, but in comfortable situations. I think this may alarm your future spouse at first because there's like a charm to you. A bit of a player-esque energy to you as well. But the fact that you've got this wit and this charm and this beautiful kind of sparkly personality in comfortable situations, like it's a crime that you're not allowing other people to see that. Whether this be by doing something creative online or stepping up within like the company that you work in. Maybe this expression, I can't even speak right now, maybe the words just won't come out now. Maybe this expression is you stepping forward and saying, hey, I'm perfect for this promotion and this is why. Maybe that promotion also entails speaking more publicly for some reason. Being somebody has to do regular presentations or something along those lines. I also want to say for some of you, it could be moving from being pretty masterful in a career but moving into teaching because of this. And teaching requires you being in front of a lot of people in teaching, whether it be online or whether it be in person. Now, your future spouse is really attracted to people who are balanced. Now, they're going to be really attracted to Libra type energies. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to be a Libra. Do not be disheartened if you do not have Libra in your chart. I have 0 Libra in my chart. I have no planets in Libra, although I have Sarah's in Libra, that's an asteroid. But I have no planets in Libra, and Libra is intercepted, which means it's hidden in my chart. But I can tell you, I've learnt to be very Libra-esque from the Librans around me. And I'm always attracting Libra risings because they're showing me how to be more Libra, how to be more balanced. Because my Aries A double sign, not the most balanced person, believe it or not. Although a lot of people have actually, like on Facebook groups and things like that, in like astrological Facebook groups, and it's like, guess my rising sign, and some people say Libra, and I'm really flattered by that. I'm like, thank you. So that's just proof to say that if you don't have any prominent Libra in your chart, do not worry. Your person is not going to leave you for the next Libra or be like, ew, you get no Libra in your chart? Ew. They're just like someone who's very balanced. This Justice card, the lady has got a blindfold over her eyes. I think they like people who are balanced because they need somebody to balance them out. And I don't think they're wild, you know, I don't think it's like, they're like messy and wild. I think it's more the fact that if they don't have somebody to tell them, you're working too much, you need a day off. If they don't have somebody to kind of calm them down, I want to say, they can wear themselves out. There's something about you that you're very, very aware and have a lot of empathy for people's well-being, health, mental well-being. I'm actually getting somebody who wants to talk about nutrition and health and fitness online here as well, so that's coming up. And I think you're a perfect candidate for that. And also takes us back to this book. You come in and you kind of like teach your future spouse how to return to their more natural state. I think your future spouse may be somebody who's like, I want to lose weight, I want to get fitter, I want to do all these things, but I don't know how. And you're like, it's very simple actually. I think your future spouse thinks it's complicated, but you're like, no, it's very simple. All you have to do is listen to your body for starters. And even if you're somebody who's not like an expert in nutrition and fitness and wellness, you just have so much natural knowledge of this, because I think you're the one who's very in tune with your body and they're not so much. They're going to love this about you. Something about you that's very intimidating and fierce as well. I want to say you're somebody who isn't taken in by flattery. It does make me think that at some point in your life you may have been a little bit more naive, potentially, maybe in the early years of your life, maybe even in your teens. Somebody who may have been very interested in material. I mean, like the material things, not just interested in materials, like this. Oh, I'm really interested in materials. I love a bit of cotton, I love a bit of nylon, I love a little bit of velour. Material items. Somebody maybe when you were younger, just like, okay, I want to do things by the book, I'm going to make a load of money. And I feel like this is where your knowledge comes in, because I think you lived that lifestyle and you realised it wasn't making you feel great. So you really did have to have a very like strong look at your diet, your fitness regime, your mental health. And I think that's when you become like a little bit of an expert. And I even want to say and throw it out here that some of you may not even realise your expertise in this area. And this could be what this communication expression is. Spirit saying, hey, like, you ever thought of making a YouTube channel and talking about this stuff? Have you ever thought of writing a book about this knowledge that you have? A blog? Could be a message for some of you. Now, your future spouse is very, very passionate, very, very high SEX drive. They're devoted to you and only you, because no one else gets them standing up straight like you. It actually reminds me, I was chatting to a lady at my son's sports day yesterday, and she kept talking about, you know, the BONER of the masculine as standing up straight, and I genuinely just thought she was talking about somebody standing up straight. All your person needs to do is look at you and they stand up straight, if you know what I mean. Or if you are a masculine looking for a feminine, you just get them a little bit watery every time you look at them. They don't fancy anyone as much as you. And I do think this has got a lot to do with your health and your wellness as well. Like, there's like a purity to you that they really love. The thing is, you know, a person can fancy many people, but they're only going to be in love with one person. And the reason that they are in love with you as well as fancy you is because of this purity. I think this is the kind of person who could look at other people that they're attracted to and be like, good looking and all that. But there's like a to them. I don't know whether your person gets the ick a lot. They don't get the ick about you, but they get the ick a lot about other people. Kind of person who could see a very attractive person, you know, oh my God, they're stunning, they're attractive, but they smoke. And that gives me the ick. They're also very, very emotional. Like, intensely emotional. They could have a Scorpio moon or some prominent Scorpio in their chart. And I think I've already said in this reading, it's gonna take them some time to trust you. But because their emotions are so intense, genuinely, when they've given their emotions to you, there is nobody else for them. And I am gonna give you guys a little bit of a warning, part number one. If you ever decided that you wanted to separate from your future spouse, you're always going to be the one. They're never ever going to be able to get over you. They're devoted to you. They're obsessed with you. They've got a really beautiful energy. I think in the past with your future spouse, they may have been a bit delusional when it came to love because of these emotions, and maybe this is why they're so defensive now. I think they're the kind of person that would, like, maybe even in school, they may mention the fact that they've, they fell for somebody and they were just like in awe with that person. They thought they were in love with that person. They've been hurt in the past because of that delusion around love. Maybe they give their all to people and they don't understand how other people don't have that same level of emotional intelligence and depth as they do. If they express anger, it's because there's some kind of like sadness in there. So I want to say, when it comes to you seeing your future spouse angry, just ask them, is something happening in the day? Did someone upset you? And you may find it was just someone at the coffee shop that ignored them, maybe. Maybe someone pushed in front of them in a queue and it kind of upset them. They're really sensitive. They may cry as well. And I don't think it's OTT. Your future spouse also needs a very emotional connection with somebody to be able to be intimate with them. And it's that thing again. They can find other people attractive, but they're only in love with one person. This is somebody who you can trust, like 100%. This is not someone who's going to be deterred by a pretty face or a handsome face. This is someone who's got blinkers on and they're literally just looking in your direction. There's someone who's naturally very devoted to things that they love. And that's why they're devoted to you. You have everything that they need. And I think they're very devoted to their career as well. And this is why they push themselves so hard and push themselves out of alignment when it comes to their own mental health and wellness with their career, because they love it. So they're devoted to it. They're obsessed with it. Gotta be some Scorpio here. This could be like a Scorpio moon, a Leo Venus. I'm even thinking like a Virgo Venus here as well. Now I can see with you in your past, you were a little bit more naive than you are now. I think you actually may or may have been extremely shy. But what this does is it brings a modesty to your talents. And this is another thing that your future spouse adores about you. Like, you're sparkly, you're flashy, you've got this fame energy. But you're modest with it. You don't flaunt it for attention. You do what you do because you want to help people, you want to inspire people. And I think that's where your shyness may come in, because it's like really important that you express yourself authentically. And I think you may worry at times that you're not doing that. Does that even make any sense? It's like you want your message or you want your expression to be perfect because it means so much to you on a deep level. And this is where you're connecting, you see. They've got these deep, intense emotions and you've got this like very deep need to help and serve within you. And it's because you have a lot of love for yourself, so you have a lot of love for the people around you. It's like you're both extremely, extremely sensitive and emotional, but in very different ways. It's like a humanitarianism with you. Your love is kind of expanding outwards. It's extroverted. Their love is very internal. I think their love is very internal because they're kind of guarding it. They're caging it in. I think you're somebody who is very naturally independent. I think you may have had some instances like in high school or something along those lines where maybe you were the shy person. Maybe you were the good looking, when you watch those American films and you've got like the geeky person. I'm not calling you a geek or anything like that, but this is just an example. And you've got the geeky person, the geeky girl normally, and then no one really notices the geeky girl, but then the geeky girl turns up to prom. She has a makeover by one of her friends or by her little sister or something along those lines, I don't know. I've got a film in mind, but I don't know which film it is. She takes off those glasses, she puts that hair down, she puts on some makeup, puts on like a gown, and she is the hottest bitch in the room. I feel like there may have been a time where that happened to you. Or the kind of energy around that. And I think this is also why you're a little bit more independent. Kind of like, I don't need anybody, I'd like someone, but I don't need anybody. It's also where that modesty comes in. You may have been criticised a lot in the past. Now, another reason why your future spouse is highly devoted to you is because you aren't all about love. And they like that about you. You have things beyond your relationship that you love. And I think they see people who are really mad about love, they're overly romantic people. I think they see those people as people who are more likely to be deceptive. People who are more likely to be taken in by a pretty face. I don't want to say this because I don't agree with it, but I think they see those people as being a little bit weak. I don't know whether they have been with someone in the past who was highly romantic, highly emotional, wanted to be in love so badly that they would be with anyone who wanted to love them. Does that make sense? You're not like that. You have other things going on. I think your future spouse has a fear of somebody cheating, but there's so much safety with you because You ain't got time to cheat. You ain't got time to mess around with somebody who's not worth it. Like, you're busy. You're busy working on you. You're busy doing your hobbies. You're busy giving your all to this relationship and watering your own garden, not next door neighbour's garden. You guys, pile number one, are coming to the end of a cycle. Doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. To be honest, probably about 3 years ago, whenever I'd listen to a tarot reading or hear some kind of astrological reading and they'd say endings are coming, I'd be like, oh my God, no, no. But now I love it. I'm like, yes, we need those stale things to end. We need to make room for new things. We need to be pushed out of our comfort zones. And guys, you've got an ending coming. And I think it's going to be an ending that brings in a new existence that is way more in alignment with you. I think other people see that kind of fame and sparkly energy in you, but I don't think you see it in yourself yet. And that's what this ending is going to bring. Spirit is telling you, don't dream, do. I mean, do you ever get energy of somebody driving their car and imagining their dream life whilst driving that car? Just, you know, this could be anybody watching who's been on a long journey recently and they've been driving that car and they've been imagining their dream life. Imagination here as well. Okay, you've got a very good imagination. Very, very creative. Probably a very good storyteller as well. But I can see somebody imagining their dream life in the car or whilst they're going for a walk, doing something where their body's moving or they're physically moving across space and time. And I think Spirit hears those dreams, sees those visualizations that you have. I don't know whether I said visualizations right now. And they're actually telling you you're closer to that dream than you think. There's an energy around this where if you invest, if you give some time to what these dreams are, what these visions are that you have, there's a quick reality shift, reality change for you. And I think that's what this ending is. It's nothing scary. I don't know whether you're planning a holiday, and I don't particularly think this has any relevance to your future spouse at all, but I feel some of you may be planning a holiday because you need some peace, you need some time away, somewhere hot, somewhere with palm trees. For some of you, and I don't think this is going to be for all of you, Spirit is saying you need more plants in your life. Now, if you're somebody who's very much into plants and foliage, I think they're telling you to tell your future spouse they need more plants in their life. Something around aloe vera here as well. Maybe you need some aloe vera in your diet. I don't know whether somebody's got like constipation. I don't know, I'm giggling at constipation. We have it. Or someone's like suffering from bad stomachs. You need a little bit of aloe vera. Aloe vera juice is what they're particularly saying. Eczema is coming up. Eczema. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not a health professional, so this is, anyone just Google this before you take this advice, but Spirit is saying if you've got like a little bit of eczema or dry skin, put some aloe vera on it. I'm sure that'll be safe, but please check that it is with Google. I don't know, is Google safe? Who knows? Healing. Your future spouse is devoted to you because you heal them. Aloe vera is so healing. Maybe you have the energy of an aloe vera plant because you're healing for so many different ailments. False twin flame here. So I want to say that maybe you have been with a twin flame already. And if you haven't, I want to tell you, your future spouse is not your twin flame, they are your soulmate. And you know, that is super positive. If you know anything about the twin flame journey, and for those of you watching this who've been with a twin flame before, your future spouse, it ain't always easy. It requires two people to do a hell of a lot of work, and it will only work if those two people both get on board and do the work. This is a soulmate connection. This is a connection that's got a little bit more ease to it. There's going to be life lessons because if you're going to marry somebody, there's something in a contract up in the heavens to say that you need to be together for a certain reason, yeah? But it's a little bit easier when it's a soulmate connection. Something around your future spouse liking your hair when it's like a darker colour. Bear in mind, if you're blonde, they could prefer your hair when it's dark blonde to when it's light blonde. I think they like it either way, don't get me wrong, but I think I don't even think they're attracted to people with darker hair more so than lighter hair. So if you're somebody who's naturally got very light hair, don't fret, don't worry, don't think, oh my God, why are they going to go for me? I just think it makes your eyes pop, or it does something to your skin tone. It just makes your skin tone look, do you know what, actually thinking about this, I did a little test with people with, I've said this before, I think, people with dark hair, people with light hair. Take a picture, the darkness kind of balances out all the colours in a picture and it makes the person with the darker hair's skin look more sheened. With people with light hair, you can see every single imperfection in their skin when they take a photo. Don't even know why that's relevant, but there's just something about dark hair on you, okay? They can like blonde people, not an issue, but there's something about dark hair on you. It makes your eyes pop, or it makes your skin tone look like a bit more dewy, is what I'm hearing here. Dewy, more of a dewy skin tone with dark hair. I don't even know whether that makes sense. I think your future spouse may have dark hair, or they may actually dye their hair dark. I don't know, I'm giggling, you know, maybe they do, but yeah. Stomach. Something about your stomach as well, very, very cute. And pile number 1, I'm going to leave that there. I really hope this resonates in some way with you. I really hope this helps. If you did like the reading, drop it a like. And if you like content like this, please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. It means that I can bring more videos like this to you. And guys, comment down below if you do have anything to say. Tell me which pile you claim. Tell me whether you're going to buy the book. Tell me whether you've read the book. And if you have, give a little review down below. I didn't write it. I'm not promoting it or anything like that, but yeah, comment down below, or just tell me whether you're excited to meet your future spouse, or tell me where your biggest mole is on your body. Just let me know. Just speak to me down in the comments. I love chatting to you all. And pile number 1, until next time, take care. Bye bye. Hello beautiful pile number 2, welcome to your reading. Let's find out why your future spouse is devoted to you and only you. And you chose the book Why Men Lie and Women Cry. And this is my favourite book of all time, and I learned everything I know today about male psychology and my own female psychology through this book. So if you think that you'll be interested in reading this book, I'm going to read you a little bit from the blurb here. So, revealed in this book, why men are confused about love and avoid commitment. Why women cry, the dangers of emotional blackmail. Why men everywhere feel women constantly nag. 7 things men do that drive women insane. Why women don't ever get to the point, and why men lie. So because you guys chose this book, it makes me think that you may have had issues with the gender that you are interested in romantically in the past. It may be the fact that you, in particular, are an absolutely gorgeous, or if you're a masculine, handsome person, successful, funny, all of these things, but for some reason, you've just met toxic people and had toxic relationships. Now, what I want to say here, and I don't want anyone to be offended because this is past tense, I feel like your person has been very much in either their toxic masculine or toxic femininity within the past, and you have also either been in your toxic masculine or toxic feminine energy in the past. So you guys are very aware of what's toxic within a relationship and what isn't. You and your future spouse have either dated a lot of people or been in a lot of relationships. And if you're somebody watching this and you're like, I've not been in any relationships before, I want to say that you may have a few relationships before you meet this future spouse, or you may go on a few dates when you decide to look for your future spouse, and learn a hell of a lot about the gender that you're interested in on those dates. I also want to say that there could be a very strong masculine figure at your work at the moment, or this could be, oh, interesting. I am getting a message coming through. Won't be for everybody, but I'll mention it in a minute. Now, this could be work for you guys where there's this like heavy masculine energy around you. Whether you're male or female, there's a masculine energy around you, either at work or around something that you do on a regular basis. So this could be the gym, this could be the coffee shop that you go and get your coffee from every day. There is some emphasis around a masculine here. I think that potentially a lot of you may actually have a crush on somebody that you see on a fairly daily basis at the moment who is either masculine or very much in their masculine energy. I think for some of you, this person could actually be your future spouse. Now, this is not for everyone, and you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but this person's either your future spouse, or this could sound weird, or there's somebody that you actually do have a soul connection with, but you're not supposed to be together in this lifetime. I know that sounds really bizarre. Either way, this person seems to be somebody that you can connect with very well. They may be a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or they may just look like a Taurus or act very Taurian. This person's very down to earth, probably somebody who doesn't over elaborate or over explain things. A person of very few words, I want to say, but they're very handsome or they're very good looking. There's something about when they smile. It's like their smile lights up a room. I want to say it's like a movie star smile. So you're either going to know this person or you don't know this person, and that is all I'm going to say here, but that's like a little extra message that's coming through. But I do have a very strong feeling for some of you, this could be someone that you have a long-term relationship and could actually be your future spouse. I know, I went straight in there with that one. So when it comes to your future spouse's energy, it does look like they are somebody who likes to be free. There's somebody who's very independent, probably someone who's like, oh yeah, you know, I've travelled, I've been to Bali, I've been to all these festivals, etc, etc. Could actually be somebody who works away or works abroad or has worked abroad. They may actually mention that to you. But even though their life is like extremely active and really exciting, they always feel like something is missing. They feel like the balance isn't there. And I think a lot of people look at this person, look at your future spouse and think, oh, this is a person who'll never ever settle down, but they do feel that emptiness in their heart. And even in relationships, I want to say they can be quite independent. I don't know whether your person has some Aquarius in their chart. They could even have an Aquarius Venus. Because there's a balance here between friendship and love. I think you may actually become a friend to this person before you actually become lovers, before you actually become married. Or it's very much like a bit of like a bromance kind of relationship here, whether you're both the same gender or whether you're opposite genders. I think you and your future spouse are going to do a lot of activities together. It's going to be like besties. Do you know what? That's absolutely beautiful, because you are going to be best friends as well as lovers. And I think your person, your future spouse, they've not been able to settle down previously because they haven't had that friendship aspect. And this is what's different with you. There's actually something very, like, you're very beautiful, I want to say, naturally a very beautiful person, very attractive. Somebody that people will look at and go, dang, man, like a bit of that. But if you're a feminine, you could actually have like very masculine traits. You might have like a bit of like a, I want to say like a dirty masculine humour. I don't know what it is about you, but there's like something masculine that oozes from you. It's very like bro-like with you, even if you are a feminine. Now if you're a masculine, you can be like, yeah, I know I'm masculine, but if you're feminine, there's just something very masculine about you, very bro-like, is what I want to say. I think your future spouse, maybe on your first dates, they're going to mention the fact that they've never really settled down with it, that they've not had long-term relationships. Again, I want to say they've had a lot of short-term relationships, or they've dated a lot. So it's like, oh my gosh, why would this person settle down with me then if they've not settled down with anyone else? But it's because you have that friendship element that they've never found within anybody else before. They're going to seem very superficial on the outside, but on the inside they're very deep. I even want to say that there's like a spirituality around them. I can actually see you guys going away together and like going on like yoga retreats, staying at surf lodges, things like that. It's like you've both got this like laid back nature, fun and laid back nature. And I want to say, if you're watching this and you don't feel like you've got that fun and laid back nature at the moment, you will. This person is going to bring that out. Again, you may be watching this and you may be like, I like my 5-star hotels, babe, like what you're saying. But I think if this is not the case already, they're going to bring out this more adventurous side of you. A lot of travel here. A lot of seeing the world, a lot of exploration. And I think you could be somebody who is ready for that as well, if you're not already like in that like travel motion when it comes to your own life. Because I do feel like you've had a lot of pain where you are now. I don't know whether you're going through a lot of pain right now. I don't know whether you've been through a lot of pain. I don't know whether you feel stuck where you are right now. But you're ready to explore. You're ready to experiment. You're ready to see the world. You're ready to try new things. I think this is something that you're going to communicate very, very early on in your connection with your future spouse. And their eyes are just going to light up. They're going to be like, this is the person I can explore with. This is the person I can have fun with. I'm getting an energy of this person working a lot. Your future spouse is very successful. And they're very devoted to their work. Now, I want to say, with your future spouse, there could even be a family business in the mix. Doesn't have to be for everybody, but there could be. Their type is somebody who is very good looking, very well presented, very well spoken. They need that communication to be attracted to somebody. They're only interested in someone that they can invest with. It's funny because poll number 1 was like this. This poll number 1, and it's the same with your person, was somebody who is very like player-esque, and you probably think, you know, they're a bit of a goer on the outside, but on the inside they ain't got time for that. They're looking for their person now. They know the importance of true love. They know the importance of investment within a relationship. It's just not worked with anyone else before you. And I know this because you guys have both had the same 2 cards come out here, Justice and the 7 of Pentacles, for what their type is. But what's different with you guys is we've got the 3 of Cups here as well. So your person is looking for that balance. They're looking for that investment, but they're not looking for a boring lifestyle. I'm not saying part number 1 was a boring lifestyle, but there wasn't as much focus on exploration and having fun. I even want to say with this part, we've got like alcohol in the mix. This is somebody who might like to drink. This is somebody who might want to try different, you know, herbal highs. Travel the world and do that. I mean, I want to. Anybody who wants to marry me, propose to me by also proposing a trip to go somewhere very nice, very hot, and have a herbal high experience. Pretty please, thank you very much. But this is somebody who wants that balance, but they also want that fun. So they want that person who's devoted to them. They want that person who can kind of settle them down, make them settle down, keep them more calm, make them not stress about their work so much and things like that, okay? But they also want that person that they can have a friendship with and have a lot of fun with, which is a really nice balance. They're going to be very attracted to you when you do have a drink. I don't know whether like you come out of your shell more when you have a drink, or whether they just really enjoy that interaction with you when you're drinking and you're inhibited. I always think when somebody has a drink, they kind of resort back to their like childlike self. Something around music here with Pond number 2's person as well. I don't know whether this person teaches music, whether this person sings, whether this person plays an instrument, but they love that as well. I also think that maybe you like play an instrument and you sing. You don't have to do it professionally, you could just do it as a hobby. It could just be a little skill that you picked up, maybe like in your teens or something like that, or even in your childhood. They love that about you. They like creative, fun people. They're attracted to that vibrancy. Apologies guys, I just had to pause the video and sort the camera out because it was going a little bit wild. It wasn't able to settle. And I think this could actually be your future spouse's energy. They're very they get very agitated. They always need to move around. They always need to be doing something new. I said Aquarius energy with your future spouse, right? Did I say Aquarius energy with them? I also think they could have some like Gemini energy, like a lot of air energy with your future spouse here. But again, they want that friend, they want someone to settle down with, they want someone to have fun with. That's their idea of a perfect partner, and that is you. You're somebody who's very experimental, somebody who's very open-minded. You're somebody who doesn't get attached to things too much as well. For instance, you're not going to be somebody who gets attached to the place that you live if your future spouse wants to move around or make some moves for like career purposes or something like that. I'm also going to throw in there, we could have military here because we do have a lot of moving around, so either one of you may be in the military or you both may be in the military. Okay, that's something else that I'm picking up here. I think something that really allows this connection between you both to work is the fact that you've had a lot of trials, tribulations, obstacles, a lot of decisions you've had to make that really shaped you to the person that you are today. So yes, you have that like fun childlike spirit, you want to explore, you want to do all these amazing things, but you're not frivolous with it. You know yourself, you know what you want to do now, you know the places that you want to explore, you know the things that you want to get out of this lifetime now. You're very sure of yourself. Now, if you weren't so sure of yourself, I feel like a relationship like this could be very rocky and could be very unstable because there's a lot of energy going on, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of experimentation, but it could also mean that there's a lot of passion, a lot of arguments, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of miscommunications, and a lot of not seeing eye to eye. But you come into this person's life, your future spouse's life, with that surety, with that groundedness, with that knowing of yourself. I want to say you could actually have some Taurus energy here. Taurus sun, moon, rising, Venus. Taurus moon is standing out very, very strongly for me here, but again, does not have to relate or completely resonate with you guys. Let it fit, okay? It could literally be like the moon conjunct Venus or something like that in your birth chart, okay? But you come in with like this grounded kind of fun energy, and your future spouse just can't help but admire this about you. The fact that you have that balance that they seek, the fact that you have the same outlook in life as they do, because I don't think many people do. I think you guys come together and you just fit like a beautiful jigsaw piece, or fit like a glove. I want to say you may be two people that are an acquired taste. You may be two people that have been too much for previous people in the past, okay? And that's a good thing. It is a good thing. It's like that Rihanna song, where have you been all my life, all my life. Sorry guys, I had to cut that off there because I was like, I just went off on one. You and your future spouse have the kind of relationship where you build so many memories. You're going to have so many stories to tell your children or your grandchildren about your adventures. And I can just see you guys like having a box or like a space in a wardrobe or a cupboard where you put things like gig tickets, plane tickets, little tokens that you've bought from different places that you've been. And I just think it's just like a really sweet relationship. Like, it's such a fun relationship. This is such a fun energy to be in. I'm actually really happy for you, pile number 2, because this is gorgeous. And I do want to throw in there, if I've not already thrown this in here, pile number 2, you may be feeling very bored. I did mention you may be feeling very stuck where you are now. Believe me, pile number 2, if you are feeling very bored where you're at the moment, thinking, oh my God, is there anyone out there for me? Is there anybody who's going to be on that same vibe as me? Okay, Sagittarius energy for you guys as well. You're going to meet that person. This is your future spouse, and it's just a matter of waiting and believing that this person who's going to fit you and be your partner in crime when it comes to doing all the amazing things you want to do and all the exploration you want to do on this planet is coming. Okay, so just please be patient. Earth Angel. See, I think your future spouse is going to be so devoted to you because literally you look like an angel. I did mention your appearance before. There's something very beautiful and gorgeous about you. I don't know whether you like to wear your hair down a lot or whether you like to wear your hair long or whether you wear extensions, but there's something very mesmerizing about your hair which like literally hypnotizes your future spouse. But you look like an angel, but at the same time you're very giving, and I want to say this giving energy is this groundedness that you bring to the relationship, this balance that you bring to the relationship and to your person, and no one else has been, I want to say, like, no one else has been able to tame your person before. No one's been able to tame your future spouse previously. You come in and you do. And I think it's very much because they're hypnotized by your physical appearance, but at the same time, it's like your grounding energy is just so alluring to them. I think it's a part of themselves that they miss. So when you bring that ingredient into the mix, it's mwah, chef's kiss, je ne sais quoi. And wealth. I think you could be very financially well off. You could come from a family that's very financially well off. But I want to say, if you're sitting there thinking, nah, like I've got £10 in my bank at the moment, there is something very wealthy again about your like health, your body, the way that you look, your charm, your wit. Okay, it's like you are walking wealth. And I feel like your future spouse feels very, very wealthy to have been able to like bag you, to be able to have gotten you, to be able to have married you. Okay, pile number 2. I am going to leave that there. I hope this helped in some way. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please drop me a like. If you want to comment down below and let me know what you resonated with, whether you're excited to meet your future spouse, or just let me know whether you've got a scar on your body and how you got it. Regardless of what you decide to tell me, I love chatting to you in the comments. So and subscribe if you do like content like this, because I absolutely adore making content like this for you. Take care of yourselves and I shall see you next time. Goodbye. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading today. Let's find out why your future spouse is devoted to you and only you. So you chose the Handbook of Medical Astrology here by Jane Ridder Patrick. This is a fantastic book looking into the correlation between astrology and our health and wellness. And if you do think that this is a book that you'd be interested in reading, I am going to read you a little bit from the blurb. So, today more than ever, people are becoming aware that their health depends on a harmonious integration with the world, a joyful balance between mind, body and spirit. When this is achieved, we are in a state of well-being, but an imbalance results in illness. Medical astrology uses the birth chart to examine the strengths and weaknesses of the individual. Jane Ridder Patrick stresses that medical astrology is an ideal means of encouraging the individual to take responsibility for his or her own health, and this knowledgeable book demonstrates one of the ways in which this can successfully be done. So, guys, the energy around this book and how I feel like this correlates to your reading is, I do think you and your future spouse may have either been through some kind of physical illness or mental health illness, or maybe one of you's been through mental health illness and the other one's been through physical illness. But there is like a very big emphasis here around health and wellness. And I can just hear the words, the rising phoenix. Okay, so I don't know whether you've got a lot of Scorpio in your chart, I don't know whether your future spouse has a lot of Scorpio in their chart, but I do feel like you've both been through a phase of rising like the phoenix. You've been through some very difficult times, and I think like health and wellness and being able to communicate when you're not feeling great, communicate like past hurts and past triggers, is going to be something that really makes you guys bond on a very deep emotional and intimate level here. I do want to say with you personally, I do feel there could be some like childhood triggers coming up at the moment. So if you're being triggered and you don't know where the triggers are coming from, I do ask you to go into your childhood. A lot of our triggers are built in our childhood because between the ages of 0 to 7, we are building up that subconscious, okay? So if there's anything that subconsciously just triggers you, it most probably comes from the ages of 0 to 7, okay? So I just want to throw that out there for you. But you are going through a phase of healing. Now, at the times where we're going through phases of healing, we do tend to be in the most uncomfortable situations. I'll give you a little example because I'm going through something with my own communication at the moment. And I've known for a very long time that I need to have more confidence around the way that I communicate with people. It's a necessity for where I want to go in life. And recently I've been being triggered to the ultimate F around my communication style and my communication capabilities. So for instance, I can be voicing a voice note to a friend and I will delete it because I've made a mistake. And this has been happening recently. And I'm like, why am I so bothered? Like, this is a friend that I'm very comfortable with and I'm just deleting a voice note. I can literally delete about 5 voice notes before I send the voice note. And I'm like, why do I feel the need to perfect this so much? But it's because there's some kind of energy going through me at the moment, which is going to help me get to that point of free and confident communication. But at the time, right now, it feels incredibly uncomfortable because I'm being constantly triggered by this particular thing that is working through me. So I hope you understand that if you are going through anything at the moment, you're going to be overly triggered by the thing around the time that you're healing the thing. You know, with your future spouse, I can feel a lot of like, I don't want to put you off because I don't want you to think that this person is overly emotional or a bit drippy, because that's not the case at all. This is somebody who's had to be very strong in their life because they've been put in some very vulnerable situations. I don't know whether your future spouse does have triggers from their childhood. Maybe their parents weren't around much. Maybe they were missing one of the parents. Maybe they were pushed to the side when it comes to one of the parents. Because there's something around them always hoping that they'll find love, hoping that they'll find their person or their parental substitute, somebody who's going to love them, but not believing that they can find that. This is somebody who could be single for very long periods of time. This could be somebody who may communicate with you that they find it very difficult to be in relationships with people. This could be somebody who finds it very difficult to approach people to be in a relationship. This could be somebody who, I'm even getting like the energy of like someone who's in their 30s and like you end up being their first girlfriend or boyfriend. The beautiful thing is you come in and you show them a whole different reality, a whole different world. You flip their world upside down by showing them that love exists and that they are lovable and that someone can love them and will love them. You end a big, massive, painful cycle for your person. And this is something that's going to make them devoted to you forever. And do you know what's ultimately beautiful about this? And I mean it, like this may sound like a very drippy pile number 3, but this is beautiful at its core. This is a bond that can never be broken between you both. You will be, whether this person has had relationships before or whether they have been that person in their mid-30s who's never had a relationship, you will be their first and their only love. And this is absolutely beautiful. There is going to be there's billions of people in the world, but they don't even exist when you're around. It is just you. They appreciate you and they feel like they owe you so much for the love that you brought them and the healing that you've brought them. Now their type is somebody who, again, it's going to sound tricky, but it's somebody who stops them feeling like a failure. That person who can release them from those mental barriers that they've caused. Release them from that SHIT talk that lives inside of their head. Somebody who pulls them and pushes them to be more out there, be more authentic, be more confident in themselves. I think to a certain extent they are looking for some kind of guidance from the person that they want to be with. But when it comes to their type, the energy I'm feeling is very vague. And it does make me think that this person, again, correlates to what I said before. There may not have been any or many people before you. This is somebody who has always wanted love, but has never been focused on it. That was a bit of a burp there. I don't know whether they'll say that love made them feel sick in the past. Because I had a weird reaction when I said those words. This could be somebody who's extremely successful within career, but just hasn't looked to love. Hasn't got much experience within love. They've been trying to avoid it, even though they've been holding that hope. Now, their love style is a relationship where you can talk about the good times and the bad times. They know that life has its ups and its downs. They're not in the arena for a relationship that just sweeps negative or important. They're not the type of person to sweep those more difficult aspects of relationship under the carpet. That's what I'm trying to say. They're the person who wants to be able to talk about it, the good, bad, and the ugly. This is somebody who is really looking to settle down with someone that they can be married to and start a family. And they know that if they want to start a family and get married, they need to do it with somebody who's very healthy. And with you, you have a lot of experience. I feel like you are somebody who may have had a little bit of like a tricky childhood in your past. Or you may have had tricky cycles within your childhood, okay? So for some of you, it could be the fact that you did have a difficult childhood, but for some of you, it could be you had a difficult couple of years and then you had a good couple of years and you had another difficult couple of years, like very up and down energy when it comes to your childhood. And I think in your adulthood, this made you a little bit non-committal for a while. So you could be somebody who did have relationships, but you were never in it, never fully in it, never fully opening your heart in it, not knowing why you weren't. I mean, you could even be somebody who's even questioned whether you can be in love. Somebody who thinks you've been in love, but God, I don't even know whether I know what love is. And I do think it's because you have had some non-committal energy at some point in your past. And you've worked through that. I even want to say the universe has pushed you out of that. So when it comes to you, you're somebody who is very whole. You're somebody who has had to dissect yourself and put yourself back together. And whilst you're putting yourself back together, most probably in your adulthood, you were able to understand every aspect of yourself. You are somebody who knows yourself on a very deep level. You're somebody who's very aware of your triggers so that you can communicate what those triggers are if you are triggered. You know, when the next person may be triggered but not know that it's a trigger, not know why it's triggering, and fly off the handle, cry, maybe not even be able to communicate that they're triggered because they don't know that they're triggered, and so on and so on. You're not like that. You know your triggers, you know your boundaries, you know yourself. You're not afraid to talk about those more difficult aspects of relationships like your future spouse. If there's an issue, you want to get it sorted ASAP so you can have some fun and you can make love again. And that's why you are absolutely perfect for your future spouse, because you're exactly what they're looking for. They need someone with that depth. And I want to say a lot of people may pass your future spouse by. They may think that this person, that your future spouse isn't, you know, the most romantic, just because they don't talk about love and relationships and dating and stuff like that very often. But you're going to find that they are the most loving, they are the most romantic, the most effing generous. And you are literally going to be like, how in the hell has no one ever tied you down before? You're going to feel so lucky to have them, and my gosh, they're going to feel incredibly lucky to have you. I feel like you are, and again, I don't want to put anyone off, okay, but I feel like you could be more physically attractive than them. Like you are the sexy siren, or the very handsome fitty if you're a masculine here. But if you're a masculine, you can still be an sexy siren. But you're very physically attractive. Now, I do think that your future spouse is also physically attractive, but I do think you are the more attractive one here. And that's a massive reason why your future spouse feels like they've hit the jackpot. They know that they will not get anyone who looks as fire and bomb as you. I mean, you are someone who's very much into spirituality. I mean, you are here watching this, so surely you must be. Unless you've just stumbled across one of these videos and thought, you know what, I'm going to give tarot a go. They've also got something about your behind. It might be your silhouette in particular. Maybe they like to watch you undress, but they like to watch you undress from behind. I actually think this could be like quite a teasy thing. They like to see you undress when your back is facing them, because when you turn around, it just, like it takes their breath away. I know that one's a bit random, but it is what it is. Something around blonde hair here as well. So I don't know whether you have blonde hair. There is actually a lot of blonde hair. Well, actually, when I look at the cards, we've got blonde hair here, blonde hair there, blonde hair there, blonde hair there. So I don't know whether you are blonde, or whether you're thinking about going blonde, or thinking about going lighter for summer, as you do, getting a few highlights. They do like you when you are blonde. I do think your future spouse has brunette hair, darker hair, black or brunette hair. you are a little blondie, whether that be natural or whether it be dyed, but they do like blonde hair on you. If you're somebody who has never tried blonde hair, try a wig or something like that, or try get a few highlights. I think you're going to be surprised like how much it really suits you. Or this person may come into your life at a time where you do decide to dye your hair blonde. Bear in mind though guys, they will love you regardless of your hair colour, because you are fascinatingly gorgeous. But I do think they're going to have a little kink for the blonde, alright? A little kink for the blonde. Giving. You're very giving. And I think it's like support. You give them this support that they've never had before. And they don't really understand how they've struck it so lucky, and I don't think they even feel that they deserve it. Even if they do. They're a beautiful person, I can tell this by their energy. They just don't feel like they deserve you. And do you know what? That's what you want in a person. Somebody who, how do I want to say this without sounding bad? I mean, you are more physically attractive than them. They need to know their place. They need to know that you are the more physically attractive person. They need to know that they need to worship you and your physical attractiveness. Whereas somebody who's not as in touch with their emotions and their inner self and their own vulnerabilities may have a bit of an ego and try and act more attractive than you to try and fool you to think that you're not attractive. We've all been in those relationships, I'm sure, where you have had an aspect that's, you know, that the other person doesn't have. It happens. We're all very different. That's why we come into relationships, because we tend to bring the aspects that the other person doesn't have. That's why in astrology you have the ascendant on one side, you have the descendant on the other side. The ascendant is you, your personality, the way that you show up in the world. That's just a very basic understanding of the ascendant, when really the ascendant is the way that you were brought up, the way that you best know how to navigate the world around you. It's a bit like a filter. So a lot of people will see your ascendant. When you're guessing people's sun signs, you may guess that ascendant, or you may actually guess the midheaven over the sun sign, okay, depending on how strong the sun sign is shown in a person's chart. Where the descendant is your partner, your husband. It's also a representative of the aspect of you that you are most disconnected from. And that's why people tend to go for energies of their descendant. I have a Cancer descendant. I have a ton of Capricorn energy over here, okay? Very dry, very ambitious, very matter of fact, but I do lack that Cancerian energy, that nurturing energy, that softer energy. So I'm going to be looking for somebody who can bring some water to my dry lands. And I've completely forgotten what I was talking about with that. But, okay, we'll carry on and it'll probably come back to me. Where was I looking at? Which card was I looking at for this? Your future spouse loves the fact that you're so authentic. You know yourself at a soul level. I do think you do have a very strong inner child. And I do want to say for you guys, you know, some of you may not have been allowed to be a child as a child. Maybe some of you had to grow up too fast. Maybe some of you had to take care of younger siblings. But there's something around you reliving your childhood when you're in a relationship with your future spouse. I feel like your future spouse will literally support you regardless of what you want to do. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a skydiving instructor and you just decide that overnight. They will support you. They trust you fully as well, because you're always showing your soul authentically and nakedly. You're nakedly showing your soul. Your soul is naked, baby. You say when you're happy with things, you say when you dislike things. So they always know where they stand with you, and they love that about you. Your future spouse has been looking for somebody to take them into a brand new realm, to show them a brand new world, to bring colour to their very black and white life. And you do that. And what's really cute here about the colours on your side is, in your like early days, everything starts off very black and white. Everything is very like dull. It's like you've been through some stuff, but that stuff has allowed you to rise like the phoenix. And I want to say, like, in your midlife, there's been more colour. But I want to say in your midlife, there's been a lot of experimentation, because you weren't able to do much experimentation in your childhood. It's like you kind of became this child. You tried to relive your childhood, but things got a little bit messy because you were most probably in your teens or your early 20s at this point. So things did get a little bit messy, but you learned so many lessons from that, and you learned so much about yourself in those moments, so that now you are here, having integrated Everything from your difficult past, your exciting and tumultuous midlife, and now you are this level, balanced, authentic soul. And it's that soul that your future spouse has fallen in love with. Pile number 3, just keep being yourself. And also I want to say for pile number 3, don't worry if you feel any changes come up in your life or feel any internal changes. Because I feel for this pile, you may be thinking in these moments, just say you want to change your hair colour drastically, or you want to change your residence. You may fear that you're running away from your authentic self, but it's just your authentic self developing, because your soul is going to continue developing through your lifetime. Spirit wants me to tell you, you're not gonna even be the same person you were yesterday, today. Your soul will always develop. If you feel any internal changes, trust yourself, know to make those changes, because that's your soul speaking to you. It's not you running away from your soul or your destiny. It's not your ego kicking back in. And I know that might sound a little bit random, but I hope that resonates for some people here. I don't know whether we've got any nurses, doctors, paramedics, or something along those lines in the house. we need a doctor, is there a doctor in the house? Very, very strong energy around like things like psychology, hospitals. I don't know whether you guys meet at a hospital, or if you guys work in a health industry, you meet that way. Or whether you guys, or one of you decides to go into like further education, or to like, even like an offshoot of mainstream medicine. Could even be a course that's like a little bit more holistic, like a holistic course, which correlates with mainstream medicine. I have no idea what this means. It's a message that's coming through. You may meet this person through that. I do feel some Aries energy, Scorpio energy. I think you two are actually going to have very similar placements. I don't know whether you're going to be around the same age, maybe born in the same year. So a lot of the planets will be in the same signs, because some of the slower moving planets won't move fast enough within a year to move out of sign for you both to have different signs. Or whether it's just chance and you both so happen to have like very similar energies within your birth chart. I actually think if you guys had a synastry chart done, there'd be a lot of conjunctions, a lot of planets on top of each other working with each other, a lot of powerful energy between you both, and a lot of understanding because of those similar placements. Okay, pile number 3, I'm going to leave that there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helped in some way. If you did like it, please drop me a like. If you do want to comment down below, let me know which pile you claim, let me know whether you resonate, let me know how you resonate if you feel comfortable to do so, or just let me know what colour your toenails are right now. Please comment down below, because I absolutely love hearing from you guys. And if you do like content like this, please subscribe, because I love making content like this for you and I want to make more of it for you. And the more people who subscribe and support the channel, the more I can do this stuff. So yes, until next time, beautiful pile number 3, take care, bye bye.